Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Interlocking Loops Flosstube video. It's November 15th, 2020. Well, welcome one and all. This is a video about primarily cross stitch, but some of my other crafty pursuits. We've changed the setup a little bit and the lighting quite a bit, so hopefully we'll see how it goes. We've had several false starts already. You can find me on Instagram as Interlocking Loops. And let's get on with finished objects. Last time, if you remember, I was working on a cross-stitch project from a subscriber exclusive from That's So Calico. It was entitled Jack, and it's a great one for Halloween. And I do have that finished. It's on 14 count chalkboard black Ada. One of my favorite colors is orange. And this rung the bell on all the orange, so I really enjoyed stitching that. Let's see, another one that I started and finished since we met last is the Thankful String by Lizzie Kate. I've made several different Lizzie Kate strings, and this one's on 14 count. All of the Lizzie Kate strings I've done actually are. I'm hoping to make something that's interchangeable. And here it is. A nice orange in that as well. One change I did make, there's a pie kind of in the middle of your screen now, and it was supposed to be slightly different color. I wanted it to look a little bit like a pumpkin pie, so I made it orange. Isn't that turkey just the cutest? So it's stitched on 14 count Ada, coffee tea dyed by me. It's hard sometimes to tell with the lighting. That's kind of what it looks like. So it's a little bit darker against a white background. So let's talk about whips. Last time I was working on a sampler, Caroline Behringer from Summer House Stitch Works. My first big, what I would call big sampler. It's not overly big. I changed the colors to colors that I just liked. I went to Hobby Lobby and looked around at their DMC selection and picked ones I liked. So here's what I have. It's on 28 count even weave, also from Hobby Lobby. It has some pastels, so some of those don't show up real well in here, but I've made some good progress from the last time we met. That's coming along. I do tend to roll up the edges on them as I'm working, because I tend to work in hand, and I use those clips for sewing. And I clip it so it kind of holds it for me. And like this right here to kind of help hold my place, and I just scooch it around. That way my hands aren't really on the front of it so much. But I'm enjoying that, and that's an ivory even weave. Okay, let's see. Something else I started since we talked last. We've had a few episodes of snow. Now, none of it is stuck. There's been no shoveling, no removing of snow off the windshield, none of that. But I told myself I want to start the glitter, Country Cottage Glitter House set of patterns stitched when the snow starts to fly. Okay, well, so I pulled it out. And here's the first one. There's a total of 9 of them. And I think when they're finished, it isn't a real big thing, but it'll be nice on the wall. Okay, so here's an idea of the bulk of the colors. So they're kind of pastel-y. Okay, those are pretty. Okay, so the first fabric I bought is not the one I even put a stitch into. And it is 16 count Ada Touch of Gray colorway. So here it is against white. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I wanted something opalescent. So I purchased some fabric from Bestitch Me. If you watch old episodes, you'll see this one is called Artemis, and it is an opalescent. I don't know if that comes across on the screen or not, but it's kind of a grayish color that I thought would look good for the background, and maybe like there was snow falling or something. There are snowflakes in the pattern, if you can see that. So that's a 18 count. So I've done 18 count, both with 2 strands over 1 and 1 strand over 1. Okay, well, so at first I did with the 2 strands, and I ripped it out because I think this has shrunk just like when I hand dye. I think it shrinks a little bit, and I felt like I was really jamming my needle in there, and that wasn't a soothing process. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll go just 1 over. And so I've done just a little bit, and it's hard to see, I realize. But I'm thinking maybe that's where I'm going to stay. I actually ran it past a guy at work that's pretty good with colors and lighting and things, kind of an artsy type, and he thought that by the time I did more of it, it would look really nice. So I think I'm going to stay with that. I think. Time will tell. We'll see what I have for the next episode. But I'm hoping to get it done. I have everything all put together, and because I have all of them, I just might as well show you a few more of them. So I'm hoping to get most of it done this winter, because I don't think I want to stitch any on this when it's warm outside. But here's number 2. Can you see it with the glare? Cute little pink house. And number 3, we've got a little blue house. We're back to another pink house and a little reindeer. The number 5 is a church. Got another house and another deer. Pink? I don't know. Then we have kind of an aqua house with a nice tree. I hope you can see these. We have changed the lighting a lot, and it's not that easy for me actually to see it at all from where I'm at. Another pink house. What I like best about this one is the blue door. And last but not least, a blue house with a cute little snowman. So all those eventually will be stitched, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, we're halfway through the month. I'm not getting some of the fall stuff stitched like it happens every year because I start working on Christmas things. But what I think I may try to start, even though I can't get it finished this year, is the Acorns by the Blue Flower by Janine McGowan. I have all the flosses. I just need to figure out what color fabric to use. But isn't that cute? So I have several colors already obtained. Some will be in Fancy Floss, and some will be DMC. But what I have been working on, when I haven't been working on cross stitch, has been 2 different things. Well, 2 different types of things. One, you remember I've talked about rag quilts before? And I'm free to do this right now and it's the one and only time I can, because not everybody's home. This is a rag quilt for my daughter. So we've got ivory, we've got some cute little camping motifs, outdoor motifs, and it's coming along. I have all of it stitched. I just am in the process of clipping the edges. Then it will be washed and dried. Those edges will fluff up and be ready to be wrapped for Christmas. So that one was the first one. It's not quite as big as the other 2. Those of you that have watched in the past, I sewed one of these rag quilts for myself last year. Hers is bigger than mine, and the next 2 are bigger yet. I wanted more of a lap size, some of the input I was getting said bigger, bigger, bigger. And so the next two, I'm holding them up folded because I'm 5'4", and they're as high as my arm reach over my head and way wider than I am. So they kind of got a little bit out of control. But the next one is for my son. I haven't done any of the clipping of the edges yet. I'm trying to work on some of these before I go to work and when I come home of an evening, which doesn't leave me a whole lot of time to do much of anything else. More outdoor motifs, camping, parks, and recreation. So that's his. And then the last one, the recipient already has a pretty good idea. It's for him. But it has fishing things on it. And I finished sewing that just this morning. So I've got it finished. Clipping the edges. I can't, even though I have the ergonomic rag quilt snips, I'm unable to spend more than about 30 minutes clipping on those. It just hurts my hand. And you don't want to be tired because then you might accidentally clip your sewn lines. I did that with mine last year when I was in a big hurry. So that's taken up a lot of my time. My daughter will be home in less than a week, so I needed to get hers finished and clipped and put away. My son won't be home till the middle of December, so I've got a little more time to spend 30 minutes of an evening, maybe morning and night, trying to get his edges clipped, and then I can go on to the last one. So they're coming along. It's taken me a while. Oh, let's see. In my slight bit of disarray here, I didn't talk about a couple acquisitions. So we'll backtrack just a little bit. The Floss Fix colorway is Rustic Red from Fat Quarter Shop. Got a total of 6 colors, and these are different reds from Bing Cherry, Cayenne, Red Currant, Campfire, Tennessee Red Clay, and Cherry Cobbler. Oh, Cherry Cobbler, Bing Cherry are some of my absolutely favorites. Oh, well, you can see those. Aren't those pretty? Everybody likes a good red, right? So this one's Bing Cherry. And my other fave is Cherry Cobbler. So you can see they are different. And those are by Classic Colorworks. So then I'm also in the Floss Frenzy Club of Weeks Dye Works. And this one is Satin Black. And the colors: Blackboard, Gunmetal, Charcoal, Onyx, Coal, and Mascara. Who doesn't need different blacks toward gray? And here they are. Kind of see the differences in there. So I don't think this club is filled at Fat Quarter Shop. So if it's something you're interested in receiving every month, it's really quite handy to build your stash. Another thing that I've kind of played with a little bit is I bought some Sulky Petites from 123 Stitch. They're from a kit with hands-on design, and these are kind of in Christmas colors. I thought since Christmas is coming up, that'd be a good place to start. And it's from the Cranberry Christmas collection of her cross-stitch patterns. So if you look on 123 Stitch, you can find those on there. And this is 12 weight cotton petites, and 1 strand of this equals 2 strands of your typical floss, which I thought might be nice. So, and because that couldn't come alone, I did buy another sampler. Yvonne Leclerc 1905. Check that out. Gorgeosity. So, wow. And the last thing just came in the mail yesterday is a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So if you don't get this, you want to get this. get a subscription. Gosh, the Stitching with the Housewives new one is on here. One by Cecilia Turner, Heart and Hand is on here, which I think this little cardinal is adorable. And then this one down here, I think is a punch needle. Isn't that adorable? I've always liked Santas in the shape kind of a crescent. So. All right, the very last thing we're going to talk about today is, so you know I live on a farm. We have sheep. I now have an Etsy shop, Ridgedale Farms Etsy shop. I have 2 knitting patterns up there for sale. They're PDFs. And I have some of the yarn from the sheep there. So it's natural. It hasn't been dyed at all. In what's called a natural black, which is often a very, very dark brown, as well as kind of taupe to light gray. So if you're interested in the yarn, check it out. There's some DK weight and a lot of worsted weight. And with that in mind, let me show you the 2 new patterns. So I'm very new to designing patterns. This is the cowl, the Artemis cowl. Some basic color work. It'll be fairly close to the neck when it's being worn, so you can kind of fold it over a little bit and zip up your coat. Keep your neck nice and cozy. And the accompanying hat pattern is also there. We just uploaded that right before this. And it's got the same color work. Made it out of the same worsted weight wool. And it's slightly slouchy, unstretched. The circumference is about 21 inches to fit an adult's regular size head. So if you're interested at all, go check it out. And that's Ridgedale Farms Shop on Etsy. So hopefully I will be back to you guys in about 2 weeks with December plans, because that rolls in more Christmas and holidays and starts the winter stitching as well. And I'm looking very much forward to doing that. So I hope everybody is finding time for relaxation, is healthy, happy, and until then, happy crafting. Bye-bye.